What's going on, guys? John Elder here from Codemy.com, and in this video, we'll continue to build out the update function for our CRM tool using Tkinter and Python. All right, like I said, in this video, we're going to continue building out our update function for our CRM tool. But before we get started, if you like this video, want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com, where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee at just $49, which is insanely cheap. So now we need to propagate these fields with this information, right? Update record button doesn't do anything yet. But first, we need to make one more change because we're going to fire up a new function to actually edit this stuff. We need to make sure that all of these things are global. So let's just go global and then copy that. In fact, I'm just going to come through here and do this for each of these. More glorious copying and pasting. All right. Oops. A couple more. Boom. And let's see. Almost there. Global, global. Okay, so now let's come back through here, and for each of these, just copy and paste these guys. Bear with me here, let's just take a second. And email box, phone box, country box, zip code, state, city, address 2. Zoop. You guys had a good New Year's. Had a pretty good time. Stayed up way too late. Slept in the next day. Okay, so each of these is now global. Okay, so let's come down to this button and let's add a command on here to just simply update. All right, so now we need to create an update function. And we can do this anywhere inside of this edit customers function. So let's define update. We're not passing anything in. Okay, so before we actually update these guys, we need to sort of propagate all of these boxes and put actual stuff in them. So we can actually come back to our, let's see, search customers, not our edit now, but our search now, where we searched for specific customers, right? So we can do the same thing. We already have one here for ID, user ID. Let's just grab this. And we also probably need some other stuff from here. So let's just kind of copy all of this stuff and then come back up to our edit now function. I'm just going to paste all this in here. And let's change this to SQL 2. And let's change all this stuff to result 2, name 2, everything 2. So, okay, so select everything from customers where user ID equals something. And we don't really need this, I don't think. Or this. And what do we want the name to be? Well, we want it to be this ID that we passed in earlier, right? And let's see, this needs to be changed to, whoops, name 2 and SQL 2. I'm changing these to 2 just so it doesn't conflict with our earlier call, right? So we want my cursor fetch all. Okay, so let's now print out result 2 just to make sure we've got this right. So let's run this again. Search customers. And let's search Elder by last name. Okay, this pops up. Now if we close this, boom, we can see which record we're dealing with. All right, that looks correct. We might need to reference these things in a second, so that's why I want to put this on the screen so we can see it. Okay, moving right along. We've got all of our stuff. Now we need to put them in the boxes, in the specific boxes. So that's not the labels, but it is the boxes. And if you remember with entry boxes, we can't just put like text equals, something. We need to actually make an insert function call. So it can be really anywhere in here. Let's go ahead and create a variable for each of these guys. So some more glorious copying and pasting. Just go through here. You'll see why I'm doing this in just a second once I get it all done. City, state, zip code, country, box 2, phone, email, payment method, almost there, discount code, price paid, and do we need this one? I don't know, probably, maybe not. Okay, so now what we want to do for each of these is, let's put some space here just to keep this a little separate. We need to dot insert, right? And we want to insert it into the 0th spot in our entry box. Think of it as a list. The 0th spot is in the box, right? And what do we want to put in there? We want to put the result and then something. But wait a second. Let's look at our terminal here. This is what's getting returned, right? So this is, see, these square brackets make this a list. And how many items are in the list? Well, just one item. So the 0th item is this tuple or tuple, right? So we need to reference that. So the result is like that, but this is now a multi-dimensional thing. We need to access the thing inside of there. We need to, put another set of brackets. So for here, we want the first name. And what is the first name? Well, that's the 0th item right here. So this would be 0. So we can copy and paste all of these. And I'm just going to come through and paste in for each of these ones we just did. And then we'll come back through and modify them a little. Boom, 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 boom. And okay. So now we need to change the 0, the second 0 for each of these things. So you need to just come through here and, for instance, last name. Let's pull this up. So last name is the second, or the 0, 1. Remember, lists start at 0. So instead of that, we need to change that to 1. Address 1 is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th item. And just come through for each of these and do that same thing, right? Address 2 is then going to be the 7th item. The city, I've got this written down, so I'm just going to put these in here instead of switching back and forth to the terminal every time. The city is the 8th item. The state is the 9th item. Zip code is the 2nd item. And these are just, remember how we put them in the database when we first set up the database. So that's how that works. Edit. Let's see. This is going to be the country box. It's the 10th item. Phone number is the 11th item. Email is the 5th item. Payment method is the 12th item. Discount code box is the 13th item. price paid box is the third item. And the ID box, we remember, is the fourth item. So let's save this and run it, see if that worked right. Search edit customers, pull this over. We want elder by last name. We want to edit Mary. And there's been some sort of horrible error. And so let's see what that was. When we close this out, we'll see an error thing here. So it looks like ID and reference, lambda edit now, box 2, result 00 is not defined. Result, oh, that's an easy fix. So this is not result because we renamed it, remember? Up here, we changed it to result 2. So we need to come through here and change all of these to result 2. Well, that's good. That's an easy fix. All kinds of typos today, but you know me. I do lots of typos. Luckily, this is not live, and we can do a little bit of editing. All right, so result 2, result 2. Okay, I think that should work, hopefully. So let's run this again. Boom. Search edit customers. Search by elder. Last name. We want to search edit, or Mary. And so Mary, and just go through here and spot check to make sure these make sense. So is elder the last name? Yes. Is this the address 1? Now notice that there is no address 2 because she didn't have an address 2, right? City, Chicago, state, Illinois, zip code, USA, phone number. Everything looks like it's correct. Okay, so far so good. You notice there's some weird spacing here. I just put some weird padding. You can mess around with that if you want. So now we need to finally do this update record thing and actually update this. So if we change this to Mary Elders, we want to save that. So how do we do that? Well, it's a little tricky, but not too bad. So we come down here to our save record button. And remember, we created this command that is update. Right? So we need to now mess around with our new update function that we haven't actually created yet. But we sort of created it. So the first thing we need to do is create some variables. So this is, again, going to be boring. So I'm just going to copy and paste this because this video is getting a little bit long. I've already actually done this work. So what we're doing here is creating variables. And remember, we made these boxes global earlier down here so that we could access them right now and put them into these variables. Right? So each of these variables just corresponds with the box, and we're getting these. So whatever we entered into that box, we're going to get it out and assign it to this variable for each one, right? So, okay, now we just need a SQL command to update this database. And what we're going to be doing, this is a MySQL database. So in order to update a record, you use the update command in MySQL. So I'm going to create 3 of these because it's going to be a very long sort of thing. So what we want to do, and instead of calling this SQL, I'm going to call this SQL command because we called it SQL earlier. So I like to use different variable names. So SQL command equals, let's give some space here. So we want to update. What do we want to update? We want to update our customers table. And what we want to do is we want to set, and then we need to just come through here for each of the things in our database table. Remember, like first name, last name, zip code, price paid, email, address 1, address 2. We need to type those in now. So where'd we go? So we want to set, so first name, underscore name, equals, and we want to use these placeholders that we've seen before, and then a comma. Then we want last name equals, boom, boom, just like that. And just come through here and do that for each of these. Now, I've actually done that, so I'm not going to make you watch me type all these out. Instead, I'm just going to paste it in. So we've got update customers, our table, and we want to set the first name equal to some placeholder, the last name equal to some placeholder, zip code, price paid, and just go through all of the things in our database table, right? And do that. And then come to the last one, and now don't put a comma here. Just leave it blank. And then we want to go where user ID equals, and then again, another placeholder, right? Now, it's very important you put this where on there. If you forget, this will update every single record in your database instead of just the specific customer that you want to update. So always put your where. Very, very important. Okay, so now we've got all of these variables. So we've got our SQL command. Now we need to put all this stuff together. We need one more thing. I'm going to create a variable called ID value. And I'm going to set that equal to our ID box get. And that is, remember, just this box down here that we created that has our user ID in it. It's actually ID box 2. There we go. Okay, so we've got our ID. That's going to be our where customer or user ID equals this thing, right? Okay, so we've got all of our variables that we're going to insert, we're going to set, we're going to update, right? We've got the user ID. Now we need to put them all together. So I'm going to create something called inputs, and I'm going to set that equal to just each of these variables, first name, last name, zip code. I'm just going to copy all this, paste it in because the video is getting long, but you see where these are coming from, right? So we're saying we're creating one long string with all of this stuff, right? So first name, last name, zip code, right? First name, last name, zip code. Just come through here and put all of these things. And then the very last item is going to be this ID value. So let's come to the very end here, put one more comma, and paste that in. So each of these things has to be in the same order of these S's up here, right? So keep that in mind. It all has to line up, right? Okay, so now we've got our inputs and we've got our SQL command. So we can execute this guy. So let's, as we've done before, let's go my_cursor dot execute. And then what do we want to execute? Well, we want to execute our SQL command. Copy that. And what input do we want to put? Well, we want to put all this inputs. All right. Almost there. Now we need to mydb.commit, because remember, we can execute it, but we also have to save it. We have to commit it, right? So just myexecute.commit. Now, finally, let's close the window. Right? After we saved it, we just want to close that whole window. So let's go, what did we call this thing? Search customers. We're in our search customers window. So let's go search customers.destroy. That will close the window. Okay, so let's save this and run it and cross our fingers. And actually first, let's get rid of that print thing that we did earlier. This thing. Result, we don't need to print that anymore to the terminal or anything. So, okay. Alrighty, moment of truth. Let's run this guy. Let's clear the screen though, just in case. All right, let's run it. So if we search edit customers, pull up a bunch, let's pull up Elder. We want to search by last name, and let's edit Mary. So instead of Mary Elder, let's call her Mary Elders. There was a typo. Her last name is actually Elders. We need to update this. So now if we update it, nothing happened. That means we have an error. What is our error? Let's see, line 109. First name box 1 is not, typo. Bunch of typos. 109. These are actually box 2. I named them box 2 earlier, didn't I? Why didn't you tell me? Box 2, box 2, box 2, box 2, box 2, 2, and 2. All right, so save this. Run this guy again. So search edit customers. want to search by last name Elder. We want to edit Mary. We want to change her to Elders. We want to update the record. Boom, it disappeared. Now if we list our customers, it's listed as Mary Elders, right? We can come back here and search again for Elder. Search by last name. We only get one record, just John, right? We want to search and edit and change it back again, maybe. Search by Elders. Search by last name. We see, oops. Let's try this again. Mary Elders. We want to edit her. Change her back to Elder. Update record. Boom, it disappears. List customers. Mary Elder. So there we go. Now we went over a lot of stuff in this video. Went over pretty quickly. So you may want to watch this a couple of times. I'm going to push this code up to my GitHub repository. So if you want to look at the actual code itself and really dig through it, I kind of recommend that you do that because we did a lot of stuff here. And this update command, this SQL command, is a little bit different. It has a little bit different format than we've seen before, but just remember, so important, you need your where clause on here to tell our system exactly which record we want to update. Otherwise, it will update every single record. It will change every record in your database to Mary Elders, and you don't want that. So keep that in mind, super important. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. You pay just $49 to access all my courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 70,000 students now learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from Codemy.com. We'll see you in the next video.